They say trading is often seen as a high-stakes game of risk and reward, but what most traders overlook is the real challenge. It's not the market, it's the mind. Fear, greed, and emotions. These psychological traps and a few secrets I am going to share with you today are responsible for the downfall of even the most experienced traders. If you're not careful, they'll dictate your decisions, and before you know it, your trading account is taking a hit. In a few minutes, you'll know the three most significant psychological traps that all traders encounter. And first up, let's talk about one of the most dangerous traps, the fear of missing out, also known as FOMO. It's a pitfall that hooks you into impulsive decisions. And today, you'll know how it's silently sabotaging your trading success. FOMO is something every trader has experienced at some point, watching a trade move without being in it and feeling the pang of regret, like you missed a golden opportunity. It's that moment when you see a market moving and think, if I don't get in now, I'll miss out on a huge profit. And in that moment, you act impulsively, without any solid reasoning behind your decision. You enter a trade, and shortly after, the price reverses. You end up on the losing side, and the regret sets in. But why does this happen? Fear of missing out in trading is a feeling of urgency. You perceive the market moving in a direction and you feel like you're being left behind. It's like watching a train pull away from the station. You're not on it, and you feel the pressure to jump on before it's too late. But it's this urgency that often leads to bad decisions. You're not trading based on strategy anymore. You're trading based on emotion. The truth is, FOMO is driven by fear. It's driven by our need to avoid regret, our need to keep up with others, and our need to prove we're not missing opportunities. But what does FOMO really do to us as traders? It causes us to chase the market. It leads to entering positions at the wrong time, usually at the top of a move, where the risk is greater than the potential reward. And this ultimately leads to poor risk management, which is one of the biggest mistakes a trader can make. There's a psychological reason why FOMO takes over. It's rooted in loss aversion. Loss aversion is a concept in behavioral economics that tells us humans fear losing what we already have more than we desire to gain. The thought of missing out on a potential gain triggers a fear that overrides logic, causing us to act impulsively. This fear of regret can be paralyzing, but it's also a trap. We don't want to miss out, but we end up making irrational decisions that lead to bigger losses. But there's another aspect of FOMO, social proof. In trading communities, especially online, there's a constant exchange of ideas, predictions, and signals. When you see other traders profiting, it creates a subconscious pressure to do the same. It's like seeing everyone else on a moving train, and you start to feel like you should be there too. This can cloud your judgment. Instead of thinking critically about the trade, you start thinking, if everyone else is doing it, it must be the right decision. Then there's the fear of being left behind. When the market is moving fast, you can feel like you're missing the boat. If you don't jump in now, you'll miss out on the potential profits. This fear of being left behind pushes traders to enter positions without waiting for confirmation, which often leads to entering trades at the wrong moment. FOMO leads to bad trading decisions. It results in chasing the market, entering trades at suboptimal prices, and overtrading. It leads to emotional highs and lows, where every win feels like validation and every loss feels like a crushing blow. It's this emotional roller coaster that creates inconsistency in trading. When you're trading emotionally, you're more likely to deviate from your trading plan and make mistakes. So, how do we overcome FOMO? The first step is developing a solid trading plan. A good plan gives you clear criteria for when to enter and exit trades. By sticking to your plan, You take the emotion out of your decision-making process. You stop trading out of fear or excitement and start trading based on logic and strategy. Next, you need to practice patience. FOMO thrives on impatience. You see the market moving and feel like you need to act quickly, but great traders know that opportunities will always arise. You don't need to chase every single move. Instead, wait for the right setup that fits your plan and your strategy. Remember, there's always another opportunity. Risk management is also key in overcoming FOMO. By using proper risk management techniques, like only risking a small portion of your account on each trade, you can reduce the fear of missing out. When you manage risk properly, you start trading with confidence, knowing that you can lose a few trades without ruining your entire account. Another powerful tool is learning to control your emotions. FOMO is driven by emotional reactions, fear, greed, and anxiety. When you feel FOMO creeping in, take a step back and reassess your situation. Pause and evaluate the trade based on facts, not feelings. Mindfulness practices, like meditation, can help you stay calm and focused in moments of uncertainty. Finally, you need to accept losses as part of the trading process. FOMO is often fueled by the need to make up for missed opportunities. But not every trade will be a winner. Accepting that losses are a natural part of trading helps you stay disciplined. You learn from each trade, whether it's a win or a loss, and you don't let emotions dictate your actions. FOMO is a powerful emotional trigger that can lead to poor decision-making and unnecessary risk. By understanding the psychology behind it, you can take steps to overcome it and trade with more discipline and patience. Focus on the process, not the outcome, and remember that there will always be more opportunities in the market. The key to success is not rushing into every trade, but being patient and waiting for the right moment to act. By controlling your emotions and following your plan, you can overcome FOMO and become a more consistent and profitable trader. Have you ever had a trade go wrong, and then almost immediately you feel the urge to get back in and make up for it? You've taken a loss, and now you're determined to make it back, no matter what. This is known as revenge trading, and it's one of the most dangerous psychological pitfalls you can fall into. Revenge trading is when you take an emotional trade out of frustration or anger after a losing position. Instead of following your trading plan and sticking to the rules, you're making decisions based on an intense emotional need to recover the loss. This emotion, fueled by a sense of defeat, leads to impulsive decisions, and more often than not, it just leads to deeper losses. Let me paint a picture for you. You've been trading for hours, and the market has been tough. You make a few trades and they don't go your way. After a series of losses, something happens inside you. There's a burning desire to get back the money you just lost. Your plan goes out the window, and before you know it, you're entering another trade without proper analysis, just a need to make back what you lost. This emotional rush of wanting to win back those losses is the very essence of revenge trading. You ignore the risk, you ignore the market conditions, and you chase your losses with another trade, hoping for a quick recovery. What usually happens is that you lose more, and now, not only are you frustrated, but your confidence is shattered, and you're emotionally drained. So, why do we fall into the trap of revenge trading? Let's break it down. The root of revenge trading lies in our emotions, specifically anger and ire. When we experience a loss, the emotional impact can be surprisingly strong. We feel like we've been wronged by the market, and this sense of injustice triggers the instinct to make it right. We might even feel that we need to punish the market for taking our money. This is where revenge trading begins. We feel like if we don't do something about it, the loss will define us. But here's the thing. Revenge trading comes with two major risks. 1. risk of making impulsive decisions. When you're trading out of anger, you throw your strategy and your plan out the window. You're no longer trading based on analysis, but based on an emotional reaction. This means you're more likely to ignore key technical levels, enter the market at the wrong time, or fail to manage your risk effectively. What's worse, the fear of making another loss might cause you to over-leverage or increase your risk on the next trade, leading to bigger, more significant losses. 2. Risk of diminishing your confidence. Even if the revenge trade works out and you make back some of your losses, it's a short-term fix. In the long run, revenge trading will erode your confidence. It reinforces the belief that you're trading based on luck or emotional impulses, and that can create a cycle of doubt and indecision. Eventually, your ability to follow a rational plan will weaken, and you'll find yourself repeating the cycle again. So, what happens when you keep falling into the trap of revenge trading? Over time, it can lead to deteriorating performance and increased risk. It's not just the immediate losses, it's the cumulative effect of trading on emotion rather than logic. Traders who consistently engage in revenge trading often see their accounts shrink over time because they don't stick to a plan, and they allow their emotions to dictate their decisions. But here's the good news. Revenge trading is something you can overcome. It takes self-awareness, discipline, and a deep understanding of your emotional triggers. So, how can we avoid revenge trading? Let's talk about some actionable strategies to break free from this cycle. Overcoming revenge trading. 1. Recognize the emotional trigger. The first step to overcoming revenge trading is recognizing when you're feeling that emotional urge. It's important to identify the moment when frustration or anger is starting to take over your judgment. If you've just had a losing trade, take a break. Step away from your computer or trading platform for a few minutes to clear your mind. This pause allows you to assess the situation rationally and makes you less likely to trade impulsively. 2. Accept losses as part of the process. Successful traders understand that losses are inevitable. Every trader, even the most experienced, will face them. The key is to accept losses gracefully. Instead of feeling like you have to win every trade, focus on the bigger picture. Trading is a marathon, not a sprint. The goal is consistent profitability over time, not making up for a single loss. 3. Have a plan and stick to it. One of the most effective ways to avoid revenge trading is to stick to a clear, well-defined trading plan. Your plan should include criteria for entering and exiting trades, specific risk management rules, and a strategy that you are comfortable with. When you're following a structured plan, you're less likely to make impulsive decisions based on emotion. If you feel the urge to enter a trade out of frustration, remind yourself to trust your plan. 4. Use proper risk management. This is one of the most crucial elements in trading psychology. Never risk more than you can afford to lose. If you've just taken a loss, it's even more important to keep your position sizes small and manage risk carefully. Revenge trading often happens when traders over-leverage in an attempt to make up for losses. But over-leveraging only increases the risk of a larger loss. Stick to your predetermined risk per trade and don't let emotions cause you to deviate from it. 5. Take breaks when needed. Sometimes, the best thing you can do after a loss is to simply take a break. This gives you time to calm down and reset your mind. During breaks, engage in something completely unrelated to trading, whether it's exercise, meditation, or even just a walk outside. Taking time to regain your emotional balance ensures that you come back to the markets with a clear head and a rational approach. 6. Reframe your perspective on losses. Rather than viewing losses as something to be avoided at all costs, Try to see them as learning opportunities. Each loss provides valuable feedback. You might not always know why a trade didn't work out, but analyzing your mistakes, adjusting your strategy, and improving your decision-making process will help you become a better trader in the long run. Now, I know that sticking to these strategies isn't always easy. The emotional pull of revenge trading can be incredibly strong, especially when you feel like you've been wronged by the market. But that's why developing a strong trading mindset is key to long-term success. Before I wrap up, let me say this. If you're serious about becoming a consistently profitable trader, then overcoming revenge trading is essential. It's one of the most harmful psychological pitfalls in trading, but by recognizing the signs and following the steps I just outlined, you can break free from it. And if you've found this video helpful so far, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. We've got more trading psychology insights coming your way that will help you take control of your mindset and become a more disciplined trader. Don't miss out on valuable strategies and insights that can change the way you trade forever. Of the psychological pitfalls in trading, overconfidence. As traders, we often feel a sense of satisfaction when we make a profitable trade. That moment when you see your position in the green, your strategy working as planned, and the market moving in your favor, it's exhilarating. But here's the catch. Overconfidence can quickly turn that euphoria into a downfall. Overconfidence is one of the most insidious psychological pitfalls because it doesn't always announce itself in the way other emotions do. Unlike fear, which can paralyze you, or greed, which can push you to take excessive risks, overconfidence sneaks in quietly, often after a series of successful trades. It's the feeling that you're invincible, that you're a natural at this, and it can be incredibly dangerous because you definitely are. No trader is, trust me. You see, overconfidence doesn't just come from success. It's often a byproduct of a trader's perception of their own skills and abilities. And while confidence is necessary in trading, too much of it can cloud your judgment, make you ignore risk, and lead you to make reckless decisions that can wipe out months of profitable trades in a single move. Let's explore how overconfidence manifests in the minds of traders and why it's so dangerous. The roots of overconfidence. At the core of overconfidence is optimism bias, the belief that we're better at predicting the future than we actually are. This bias affects everyone, but in trading, it can be catastrophic. When you experience a few wins in a row, you start to believe that you've mastered the market, that your success is a result of your own skill and not just luck, and that's where the problem lies. Overconfident traders often underestimate risk, thinking they can handle anything the market throws at them. This leads them to take bigger positions than they should, increase leverage, or even make impulsive trades based on gut feelings, not analysis. They ignore their trading plan, convinced that their intuition is enough to guide them to further profits. But that kind of thinking can set the stage for significant losses. Overconfidence is also reinforced by confirmation bias, the tendency to seek out information that confirms what we already believe. If you've had a few successful trades, you may start looking at charts and indicators with a biased perspective, seeing only the things that support your thesis while ignoring the risks or market signals that could lead to a loss. This leads you to make decisions based on incomplete information, which can quickly turn against you. So, how does overconfidence affect your trading behavior? Pay attention closely. I'll break it down. 1. Increased risk-taking is one of the most common outcomes of overconfidence. If you've been on a winning streak, it's easy to feel like you can do no wrong. You might start taking larger positions, ignoring risk management rules, or even ignoring stop-loss orders altogether. Overconfident traders think they can outsmart the market every time, which leads them to risk far more than they should. And when that overconfidence meets a market reversal, it can result in devastating losses. 2. Ignoring a trading plan. It might interest you to know that a solid trading plan is the foundation of consistent profits. It provides structure and discipline in an otherwise volatile environment. But when overconfidence sets in, traders often throw their plans out the window. They feel they no longer need to follow their entry and exit criteria or adhere to their risk management strategies. They start trading based on instinct, hunches, or emotions, ignoring their plan entirely. This lack of structure is a recipe for disaster, as it eliminates the safeguards that protect you from impulsive decisions. 3. Over-leveraging. Overconfidence leads a trader to believe they can handle more risk than they actually can. This often manifests as over-leveraging, where traders borrow more capital to increase their position size. While this might seem like a quick way to amplify profits, it also exponentially increases the potential for significant losses. If the trade doesn't go as planned, the losses can be greater than the capital in your account, leaving you with a margin call or wiped out position. 4. Revenge trading. Overconfidence doesn't just lead to irrational decisions after a winning streak. It can also increase the tendency to revenge trade after a loss. When an overconfident trader faces a loss, they might feel a desperate need to prove that they can get back on track, even if it means breaking their rules. This leads to taking impulsive trades, typically without adequate preparation or analysis. Instead of learning from mistakes, overconfident traders make the mistake of trying to quickly recover, which often leads to deeper losses. 5. Failure to adapt. Overconfident traders often believe they have the market figured out, and this leads to a failure to adapt when market conditions change. Markets are dynamic, and strategies that worked in the past may not always work in the future, but overconfident traders tend to stick to what's been working for them, refusing to adjust to new information, changing conditions, or unexpected market volatility. This rigidity in thinking can result in poor performance when the market shifts direction. The real cost of overconfidence isn't just the monetary losses, it's the emotional toll it takes. Overconfident traders often find themselves on an emotional roller coaster. After a series of wins, they feel invincible. But when the inevitable losses come, the emotional crash is intense. This leads to poor decision-making, revenge trading, and further losses. The cycle of highs and lows becomes draining, and it often results in traders abandoning their strategy entirely in favor of emotional trading. More importantly, overconfidence leads to loss of discipline. The more you trust in your own abilities without grounding yourself in facts and strategy, the more likely you are to ignore key risk management principles. When you overestimate your ability to predict the market, you start to underestimate the importance of things like stop losses, diversification, and position sizing. The end result is an accumulation of smaller losses that eventually leads to a significant account drawdown. Overconfidence also damages a trader's long-term consistency. Trading is a game of probabilities, and no one can predict the market with certainty. Overconfident traders may experience short-term wins, but those wins are usually followed by bigger losses as they stray further away from their disciplined approach. This inconsistency erodes the foundation of their trading success. Overcoming overconfidence requires a conscious effort to remain grounded, disciplined, and humble in your trading decisions. Here are some strategies that can help you manage overconfidence. 1. Stick to a detailed trading plan. One of the best ways to combat overconfidence is by following a well-defined trading plan. Your plan should include entry and exit strategies, risk management rules, and clear guidelines for how much you're willing to risk on any given trade. By having a set plan and sticking to it, you remove the emotional component from your decision-making process and keep your ego in check. 2. Set realistic expectations. Overconfidence often comes from unrealistic expectations. Understand that trading is not a quick path to riches. It's a process of continuous learning, adapting, and refining your strategy. Setting realistic goals and recognizing that losses are a part of the journey will help temper overconfidence and keep you focused on long-term growth rather than short-term victories. 3. Use risk management techniques. Proper risk management is the antidote to overconfidence. If you find yourself increasing position sizes or taking larger risks, remind yourself to keep your trades within the safe boundaries you've set. Never risk more than you're willing to lose, and always use stop-loss orders to protect your capital. 4. Self-awareness. Take time to evaluate your mental state before each trade. Are you feeling overly confident or too emotional after a winning streak? If so, take a step back. Assess your mindset and ask yourself if you're making decisions based on logic or emotion. It's essential to recognize when overconfidence is creeping in and to correct it before you enter a trade. 5. Continuous learning. The market is always evolving, and the most successful traders are those who remain open to learning. Avoid the trap of thinking you've mastered trading. Keep educating yourself, whether it's reading, trading books, analyzing your trades, or learning from others. Humility and a willingness to adapt are key to overcoming overconfidence. In a nutshell, overconfidence is a silent killer in trading. It sneaks up on traders after a few wins, convincing them they can't go wrong. But the truth is, no one is invincible, and the market doesn't care about your ego. To succeed as a trader, you need to stay humble, stick to your trading plan, and always respect risk management. If you found this content helpful and want more insights on mastering the psychological aspects of trading, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. You don't want to miss the next chapter, where we'll dive deep into the final psychological pitfall every trader faces. Stay disciplined, stay focused, and keep learning. I'll see you in the next video.